Hello there, my name's Carlo and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. Today we are going to be having a detailed look at Jetstrike. I don't know if any of you remember, but I did a Jetstrike video a little while ago, and I just felt that it was time to do a more detailed look on Jetstrike. So this is going to be a video where we're going to have a detailed look of Jetstrike, but not only that, we are going to do a little tutorial as well to get you guys going. So the tutorial is going to be based on what you see here. So I'll just play that. So we've got our plane in the sky, panning round very simply, just like that, which is very cool. As you can see, we've got our clouds, we've got our plane, we've got some lighting, we've got some glow, and it's a very nice effect, as you can see. But first, let's just have a detailed look at Jetstrike. So I'm going to create a new project, and I'm not going to save that. And then we're going to create a new composition. We're going to make this 10 seconds long. Actually, we're going to make that a bit longer. Composition settings. So let's make it 300 frames. Click enter like that. Let's shorten our timeline. Right, so okay. So we're going to create a new solid. I'm going to make it my comp size, keep it white, and then I'm going to type in elements, and then I'm going to drop my element on top of my solid like so, and just wait for element to load up. Okay, so we're going to come over here and we are going to our scene setup, and just below here, once you've installed Jetstrike, you will have your Jetstrike pack there with loads of awesome planes to play around with. You've even actually got a pilot. So let's look at some planes in more detail. We are going to be doing a tutorial based on the jumbo jet in a minute, because that's rather a cool rig. So let's just look at some of the rigs in more detail. So here we've got our jet fighter, as you can see. Everything in this pack is fully riggable, so you'll have a rig control added, so you can just open literally everything up like so. You've got your wheels, your rocket bays, everything opens up, everything is animated, even the cockpit will open up. And I'll be showing you how to animate these bits and pieces separately as I make more videos. So let's change the lighting on this, give it a sort of cinema look. Some amazing detail in these crafts, as you can see. Let's have a look at another plane. This is very similar to the other one. Everything is fully rigged, so you can even move the turbines like so for landing. Everything moves. If you look up like this, you can see the weapon bays even open. You can actually open all these little bits and pieces separately, which I'll show you in a second how to do that. Everything can be animated separately, which is very cool. And you can also change your textures as well, how you see fit, but that will be another tutorial. If we look at the jumbo jets, are absolutely amazing. This is a British Airways jumbo jet by the looks of it. Absolutely incredible. This has got a lot of rigging in this, rig controls. It's got the wheels that come out like so. Pretty awesome stuff. Very detailed. Let's have a look at it in wireframe mode, so you can see how good these things really are. Absolutely incredible. probably the best pack Video Copilot's released, in my opinion. So let's shut wireframe mode off. See, when you get these planes up, you can also play around with the textures as well. So if you click on the body, it'll bring this up, and you can scroll down and you can turn your specular up, make it a lot more shinier. Right, so actually what we're going to do is going to actually use this rig in our tutorial in a second. You can make it shinier, like so. As you can see, very, very polished. And you can also create your own environment as well. So if we turn the environment on, we can get a nice reflection. So we come up here. Jetstrike comes with a lot of environment packs. It comes with a lot of backgrounds and basically things to play around with as well, which I'll show you in a minute. But what we'll do is we'll use this one for our tutorial, and what we'll do is we'll just keep it. Right, so we've got our plane now in After Effects. So what we want to do, you're going to come to Layer, New, and create a camera. Now your camera settings will be set to default, so come down and select 80mm because you want it to be a wide shot and quite deep. Come up here and use your track to just bring the plane forward and into the position you want. So I'm going to bring it as forward as I can. Then I'm going to rotate this beast to about there, like that. So we've got our plane, and now what we need to do is we need to import our background. For the sky background, I bought the clouds from Video Copilot, so I use that, which is called Real Clouds. So I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to make this larger, extra large, so we can have a look at the cloud footage we got. So let's scroll down and have a look at something pretty cool. So what we'll do is we'll go for number 23, this one. We'll just click on it, click on open, let that import, and then drag that and drop that underneath elements, and then basically scale it to size. So now we've got our rig, we've got our background in position, we've got our camera, as you can see. Now it's time to add some lighting. Lighting is very important when you're creating something like this. So let's create some lights. So what we're going to do is come up to Layer, New, Lights, and we're going to create a parallel light, and then I'm going to select this and just click it here. Now actually what we're going to do, we're going to keep that white. We're going to make an ambient light that colour. Okay, so drop our lighting, and then all we're going to do is we're going to play with our light and bring it to a position where we feel, sorry about that, select our light again, bring it to a position to about there. I don't want it hitting the plane too much because I don't want to lose the shadows and stuff like that, even though this does create a lot more shadows. So bring it to about there. Let's bring my saturation to about half, to about the actual position about there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So we've got our light now, we've got a camera, we've got a rig, and we've got a background. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new light, and we are going to create an ambient light this time, and then we're going to select our blue and then throw another light in like so. So that gives us the feeling that the plane is reflected with the background like so, as you can see. Right, so we've got our two lights now, and that's looking pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're not going to animate yet. We're going to give this a glow. We're going to give this a bit of a glow. So let's go to our background, No, actually we're going to select our rig, rename this, actually rename Elements 3D so we don't get confused. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select our camera, and then we're going to hold the Alt button down like that, just to give it a bit of an effect. Then we're going to go to layer. No, we're not going to go to select our Elements 3D. We're going to go to effects. We're going to go to stylize, and we're going to click on glow. Don't be too worried about that. We need to just bring this up as much as we can, and then we're going to bring our radius all the way down to the bottom. So now we'll have, let's go on top, click A and B colors like so, and there, yeah, that's looking pretty good. We've got a bit of a glow now. If you look carefully, we've got a bit of a glow, so that's going to be quite a nice effect when it's completed. So let's just fit that to screen now. Okay, so now it's time to animate. So we're going to select our camera, we're going to make sure it's in the orbit position, and then we're going to hit P on our keyboard, hit our stopwatch, bring it across to the final frame, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to turn our plane like so. So now we'll have the effect of the plane turning around with our lighting actually following it. So if we render that out now very quickly, as you can see, our plane is moving with our clouds like so. So yeah, that's looking pretty awesome. So what I was telling you before about animating the rigs is very simple. Obviously this is looking a bit fast at the moment, so we're gonna, normally I would add more time to this, but obviously this is just to get a general idea of how it's done. So if we stop, say, to about there, okay, and then we open our 3D elements, all our rigging is basically within group 1 of this plane. So from this point here, if we want to, for instance, lower the landing gear, we just hit our keyframe, bring it to the point where you want it to last till, and then slowly bring our landing gear down like this. So there you go, now we've got our landing gear coming down. So let's render that out, and as you can see, our landing gear is fully animated with the craft like so. Obviously this is going way too fast, so what you would do is you would select a longer video time so it'd go a bit slower, but for the sake of this tutorial I'm not going to change anything because that looks pretty good. I think you get the general idea of what we're doing here. But now the coolest thing is you can actually go into scene setup like so, and if we want to, we can change our plane. So let's find something really cool. Let's select this one here like so, and we are going to change the light to cinema. Click OK, and that should have come into Elements, into After Effects, but it obviously hasn't. So that's not to worry, silly things happen, it is a tutorial. But normally what would happen is the plane would go there, so I'm not sure why that's actually happened. So let's close that, let's go all the way to the top, let's close that. Right, yeah, so what you're meant to do, because I'm such an idiot, is you go to scene setup, okay, and here are all the jets. So I've just obviously selected this jet, like so. So obviously you keep your jet on and then you switch to jumbo jet off. So if I select this one and turn this one off and click OK, the plane comes back like that. So that's what I never did, because I'm a wally brain. But if we select our jet like that, switch that off, click like that, that stays on. But the cool thing is, this will move exactly the same as if your plane was moving, the animation you just created. So you can sort of play around with it with different sequence, well, with the same sequence with different rigs, which is quite cool. So the landing gear is opening, because that's what I keyframed the landing gear to do in the jumbo jet. But we can sort of go a bit crazy here if we wanted. So we can have this sort of turning round like this, and let's scroll this down. Let's you know, you can get your rudder, keyframe your rudder. So stick a position there, move that around like so. Then we can bring our rudder sort of like that, so it looks like it's moving, and that'll put a keyframe. And you'll do something like that if it was going to land. So what I would do is I would go like that, and then what you could do is you can get your camera like so, and then bring your, not that one, your this one, and then you could bring your plane sort of down like that, so it looks like it's landing. But the potential is limitless. It's absolutely limitless what you can do. So let's go back to so let's go back to here. Let's kill this keyframe off. So we're going to undo this like that. So let's go back to our scene setup. Get our jumbo jet back. But you see, as that's like that, if I close this off, turn that on like that, click OK, it'll put it in the same position like so. Also, a very cool thing that comes with Jetstrike is sound effects, which you can add to your movies. Well, plain sound effects that you can actually add to your rigs, which are pretty cool. So if I just quit this for the finale, actually, first of all, let me go to scene setup. I want to show you something really cool. Actually, look, you've even got pilots here, so we can have our pilot there. Let's switch off our jumbo jet and click OK. You know, we've got our pilot in the air, look. Like that. We've got a pilot. Pretty cool. But that's if you want to put him on the ground, and you know, the plane's coming into land, and you know, you want him there just as background detail. But he's got no movement or nothing like that. All he does is sort of, you can just spin him around with a camera like that. You can't really do a lot with him, but he's cool for detail as well. You've even got a pilot, which is cool. So let's shut him off, click OK. So we've got a really cool pilot here as well. He's pretty awesome. He actually doesn't do a lot, but he's for ground detail, if you want a bit of ground detail as well. Let's look at, so let's come out of that, let's look at some of these babies. Let's look at this one. This is a cool plane, man. Look at that. And the rigging on these is just absolutely incredible. I mean, you've got like twin turbines. Look at the lighting effect there, you know. Cinema's already set. Let's go back to here. This is fully, every single aircraft is fully riggable. Do you know what I mean? These are not silly little OBJ files. Do you know what I mean? Just click OK on that. These are not silly little OBJ files. These are proper full-on rigs. Do you know what I mean? That you can actually rig, you know, within After Effects, you know, and it runs pretty quick as well. You know, you can get your jets there, move this around. Do you know what I mean? Like that, and the lighting on these actually look pretty awesome. If you use the heat displacement pack, which comes with Jetstrike as well, but that's another tutorial, it actually you can actually make some pretty cool, amazing plain fire effects at the back here to make it look a lot more realistic. But yeah, so with sound it's pretty cool as well. You can add some, I mean the sounds are pretty amazing, and these are very realistic. You've even got aileron controls, you've got canopy, you've got weapon bay, so you can get his canopy like that and open it. So yeah, so when you're sort of looking at what you can do with sound effects, you get a pretty good finished product just like that. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty awesome stuff. Very, very exciting pack. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you've enjoyed this. We've had a bit of everything here. Showed you how to do a little quick tutorial. Showed you some of the planes. You know what it does, the rigging. Everything is fully rigged. I mean, this is just amazing. I mean, look, the weapon bay is open. All these, by the way, are fully. You can customize these within After Effects to move by themselves. So this can open by itself. This can move by itself. So you know, you can create some pretty awesome stuff. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch you again in the next tutorial. Well, hopefully we'll be doing some heat distortion or displacement with the turbines at the back, and having some fun with that. So thanks for watching.